up, you start to close in and try to protect your line too much. But to me, he's got a good run out of turn 7. It looks like he's got this in the bag.
Top 3 have cleared away. Cedars, Johnson and Gary McDonald. The reigning champ, Jack Elscott's fourth. Oh, David Cedars locks the rears down at turn 9, and this gives Grant Johnson one last sniff.
You just saw the back of the car jump over the bumps. That's what we call axle tramp in the Fords. He's changed down the gears too early, caused a bit of a compression lockup. Lucky it looks like he's got away with, but geez, he must have given himself a fright there.
I reckon this is the last sweeper into turn 14. Grant Johnson is too far back, so Ford fans, you're going to get 2 on the board here. There's only 1 race left to go. What a great start to the season. David Cedars, his first ever ute race, and he goes and wins the thing.
Obviously couldn't hope for any more to beat an ex-champion in Grant Johnson. Gary McDonald, who's also been a great performer. Fantastic result for Newlon and David Cedars.
Johnson got the fastest lap of the race. Yokohama replay, and Jason Gomersall into the side of George Elliott, into the side of Steve McFadden. I thought Robbie Madison was here to do that stuff.
Madison will be proud, but McFadden will be feeling down.
Good drive from Ryle Harris. He finishes in 5th. Ben Dunn rounds out the top 10, but our winner's already looking forward to race 3.
It's going to be a good race. We should start around about the 10 mark with Rod in 21st from his race, and hopefully I can scream through the field and get us a chance to get a top 5 result in the end of it.
Meanwhile, Gary Baxter's hoping that bad luck doesn't come in 3s.
What does this mean for the final 12-lap race tomorrow?
At the moment, we're in the grandstand, but no, look, we'll get an engine in it tonight, and we'll be out there tomorrow.
If you thought there's been plenty of action so far, stick around. Race 3's to come, and all of the drivers are involved. Time for the final race of the weekend, and all drivers are involved. There is a compulsory driver change in this race. The grid is determined by the combined results of the first 2 races, and the regular driver must start this race before they hand over to their nominated legend. So we'll go through the order. There's a range of drivers. They're all mixed up from the results over the course of the weekend, and there's a compulsory pit stop window of between laps 4 and 7.
And as if the competition in V8 ute racing, the panel rubbing, the mirror smashing doesn't spice it up enough, to throw in a pit stop and 2 drivers in each car, this is going to be awesome.
George Elliott teaming up with Marshall Brewer, a couple of old NASCAR boys. They're pretty good when it comes to pit stops. Gary Baxter and Cam McConville have managed to get their car on the grid. That's great news. So on the front row of the grid, Jeremy Gray, first time on the front row, up against Gary McDonald. And the Commodore says, ciao, bye.
McDonald absolutely smoked Gray, who with the nerves almost stalled it. He's been eaten up by Kim Jane and also Grant Johnson.
It's a busy first chicane. Steve McFadden goes around in the background.
That car has been in the wars. We saw in race 2, he climbed up over the tyre barrier at the exit of turn 9, now off at turn 1, race 3.
So all of the regular drivers are behind the wheel. This is Kim Jane.
The extreme clutch in car. Look at him. Tap, tap. Come on, Grant. I need to get hold of McDonald before he bolts.
Well, he's bolting already. They saw themselves out on this first lap. Now the strategy comes into play here, Damien. When do you pick to take that compulsory driver change?
I don't want to be the one making the call. Naturally, these regular drivers will be wanting to do as many laps as possible. And your strategy can sometimes change depending on what your main opposition are doing.
McDonald out in front, Johnson, Jane. Look at them all ganging up on Jeremy Gray. Jack Elsgood has got down the inside, and now Andrew Fisher is going around the outside as they come back into the racecourse section of the road.
And a special mention there, Gary Carson in the Select TV Falcon, who has improved with every outing last year. He's in 7th place.
He'll hand over to Marcus Zakanovic, pacemaker in car with Andrew Fisher, who will give this car to Rick Bates, but not before he's had a big lunge. Look at the top 3, nose to tail.
And back there, Jeremy Gray getting a workover. Now the DBA on board with Jack Elsgood. Very surprised Jack did not do what we call a flat shift. He didn't leave the throttle, full throttle when he changed gears. He actually had a lift, which is a little bit surprising in this category. Normally they do a flat shift to make the gear change a lot quicker.
Well, the Commodores are fighting back in this last race. They're 1, 2, 3, but McDonald's under the pump. I thought he was going to jump away with it, but have a look. He's going nowhere. They've got a rope attached to the back of that car.
And so close is Grant Johnson. You can almost not see Gary McDonald from inside Kim Jane's car.
Now, I've watched enough ute races to know when danger's brewing. It's brewing.
Oh, the Yokohama replay there shows McFadden into the side of Ryle Harris at turn 1. Boom! There was the impact.
Did he get a help from behind, maybe?
Oh, probably. Turn 1 of a V8 ute race. Very likely.
The rest of the field through the centre chicane. Look at Johnson sliding. Oh, Kim Jane into the wall.
And that'll be race done for Kim Jane. That was a big slap, and now for the lead. Great move, Grant Johnson, up on the curb, bounce into the side of him. Now Jack Elsgood into the lead.
Oh, they put themselves in the fence, and Elsgood's gone through. 4 Falcons have just gone by 3 Commodores.
Oh,
no one wanted to give up that spot, and they've both ended up in the fence.
Which is why we love V8 ute racing. None of them want to give up. None of them want to give an inch.
Surely, though, watching on, you can't help but feel like you'd love to be in among this.
Yes, of course I do. Much like when you watch Crompton and Scaife do a call of the supercars. But look at that move up the inside of Gray, who, nudge on the exit, he's not giving up.
How did Crompton and Scaife get involved in the ute telecast? That's got to be a first. Look at Jack Elsgood. He's getting away from all this drama. That's the safest place to be. But Jeremy Gray, they swamped him at the start. He's starting to give a bit back.
And we see now the Yokohama replay, 170 k's an hour, slap into the wall for Kim Jane.
And that'll be left front damage. Race over. He'll limp that car back to the lane, and Steve Owen won't get a drive. And have a look at the madness going on up in front. The Commodore boys arguing among themselves. Kim Jane limping. Jeremy Gray just giving back as good as he gets. And we've gone from 1, 2, 3 Commodores to 1, 2, 3, 4 Falcons in a corner.
And one of the Holdens stuck in the wall. Our race leader, Gary McDonald, who got caught up in that skirmish with Grant Johnson, and that has brought out the Pettis safety car.
Just as well, plenty going on in Adelaide. The pit stops are coming, more after the break. Back in Adelaide with race 3 in the V8 Utes, and while we were away, the whole field virtually came in and pitted, but the leader, Jack Elsgood, didn't.
And that is a big mistake. Whenever there's a safety car, you should pit, because everyone else then is circulating at a slower pace. Jack Elsgood is now going to have to execute his pit stop when the race is restarted and his competition is punching around at full race speed. Not good for Jack Elsgood.
Right, so we're restarting the race. Ryle Harris is still running. Robbie Matheson. Oh, you can always expect something different. He takes over from Brad Patton. Here's Andrew Medicki bolting into the Cooper's Clear Falcon, the DBA in-car, but they're out of the race now. They have given away so much time because they didn't pull in when that safety car came out
And on screen now is our current race leader, Ryle Harris. But Aaron, he's going to face the same problem